Hi there. This is a quick refresher on the timeline in House of the Dragon Season 2, specifically the calendar date. Because, over a private message, Red Tea Review, Carmine asked me, wait, what are the dates again? And I said they're actually really consistent. Season 2 starts in the year 132 after Conquest, which is a little later than the war did in the books, where it started in the year 129, but that's understandable. They had to age up the characters for TV purposes. That's fine. Game of Thrones Season 1 had to do that. We didn't complain when they changed Robert's Rebellion from being 15 years ago to 17 years ago. You need to age people up for legal reasons. But yeah, it's the year 132, which delights us because Benioff and Weiss were they actively criticize the very concept of keeping track of dates and timeline because it would have been work, and they didn't feel like doing it because it'd be complicated. That Game of Thrones did broadly hold to the principle that 1 year equals one TV season, give or take. So yes, from season 1 to season 8 would be 7 years. Don't get me wrong, in that yes, Arya would be 18, but like season 5, like there's points where like Tyrion could only be doing something within 6 months, other points where someone could have taken up to 13 months to do something. It's broad, but it happens. But with this House of the Dragon, the opening monologue says the calendar year. We have never had a calendar year in dialogue before, and that was just for the book trivia nerds. That really got us excited, and for the wiki crowd particularly, because now we can date events. And then just one episode at a time. As we were watching episode 1, we were over on the wiki, and not just me, everyone. And we were like, wow, these dates are really consistent, and we're happy about it. The other thing that really upset me, by the way, is I've been reading all the advanced reviews from the private screenings for critics. More than one critic, you can tell when there's a serious review versus someone going, why isn't there more zombie spectacle like late Game of Thrones, like season 6? Why aren't there battles of clear good guys and bad guys and mindless spectacle? And it's, your time is over. You tried to usurp us, and we're back. But I've seen more than one review saying, of that kind of review, wow, season 2 is a lot better because it made the choice not to have time skips anymore, which were confusing in season 1. And this is a book adaptation, and you think that they chose to stop the time skips because we're done with the time skips. The whole point was season 1 is a prologue to this war that happens. And there's a question of, and again, people keep going, oh, well, it can only last 2 seasons because in the book the war lasts 2 years. Well, maybe the TV version will last longer than that. Now, I do think they will have 1 year of story time equaling 1 season, because actors need to age. Particularly the younger actors will age in real time, like what Game of Thrones did, that it messes with the timeline like that. But like Breaking Bad took 5 seasons to tell a story that takes place in 2 calendar years. And they could just change it for the TV shows. That, oh, the war lasted 4 years in our version. So, who knows? But what I'm going by is the calendar date at the start of season 2, which they said is like 2 weeks. It's like 10 days they've been looking for Luke's body. So, it picks up right then. And again, they're like, guys, a week can pass between episodes. A month can pass within episodes, between different scenes and different storylines. And people would complain about that, like, within reason. The early Game of Thrones seasons, like, yeah, a month passes between episodes. When they're, like, traveling from Winterfell to King's Landing versus, okay, Littlefinger clearly has a jetpack. Now, some characters obviously have dragons, but even dragons have to have travel time. That Jace getting the letter that Luke is dead in the north must be a couple of days after it happened. And then when he comes back, which we also know is episode 1 from the promos, well, that might be up to 3 weeks after he died. In terms of turnaround time, that they do say it's been 2 weeks. So like maybe a month passes between the end of episode 10 of season 1 and the end of the season 2 premiere. I'm fine with that. Fuzzy edges. All of that preamble for 5 minutes, it's very clear what was the timeline of season 1. There are 3 official time skips, because these are defined as when people are recast. And the first one was very small. It was between episodes 2 and 3 when there was a 3-year time skip, because in episode 3 you now see teenaged Laenor. Not speaking role, but there was a child Laenor in the first episode, so they define it as when we have to recast people. But 1 year passes between episodes 3 and 4 when Rhaenyra says, "I've been touring the kingdoms for a full year looking for suitors." That is not considered a time skip, but it is a full year of time. Well, there's 3 time skips, the official ones. 3-year time skip between episodes 2 and 3 when now suddenly there's baby Aegon. Then there's the massive 10-year time skip, which they say it's been 10 years, between episodes 5 and 6, the 2 halves of the season. And then clearly at the beginning of episode 8, they say it's been 6 years since Laena's funeral, and now you see the young adult versions of Rhaenyra and Alicent's children, right? So what is 3 plus 10 plus 6 is 19, plus the 1 year that they say I was touring looking for suitors between episodes 3 and 4 is about 20 years. And other episodes all happen, the other ones all happen relatively close to each other, like 8, 9, and 10 are all within days of each other. 6 and 7 are back-to-back because Laena dies and then it's her funeral. And the Rhaenyra-Laenor wedding, they say, is a matter of weeks after episode 4. They do it immediately. So give or take, and I know like there's a 6-month skip between episodes 1 and 2, but fuzzy edges, give or take, 20 years. And actually, at the trial in episode 8, Rhaenyra does say, "In this chamber almost 20 years ago when I was named the heir." So, okay, 20 years pass between the tournament at the beginning of episode 1 and the death of Viserys. The question, of course, is dating within episode 1, from the Great Council in the prologue when they actually gave a calendar date to the tournament. Rhaenyra's voiceover says the council was in the year 101, and then a title card says it is now the 9th year of the reign of King Jaehaerys. So, should we add 9 to 101 to make it 110? And then another 20 so that by the end of season 1 it's 130. Well, no, because Jaehaerys didn't drop dead immediately at the end of the Great Council. In the book version, at least, he lived another 2 years and died in the year 103, which then, pushing everything back, would make the end of season 1 the year 132. The debate we were having, of course, is did they remove those 2 years in the TV version, or perhaps even expand them? Hard to say. Well, what we noticed and debated over on the wiki and other places is certain character ages line up in such a way that they're clearly using book dates. That, think about it, Rhaenyra is 14 in the first episode. In the book, she was born in the year 97. So the only way that she could be 14, you can see that they added that to 97 to get 112, is the only way these line up. Which would again make sense that if you add 9 years to the year 103, look at my chart here despite my failing words, but 9 plus 103, you get to 112, and this lines up with they could have made Rhaenyra 16. They chose to make her 14 because if she was born in the same year she was in the books, 97, she'd be 14. Then you get the problem of mirrors reflecting mirrors, that when the making of book came out about a year after season 1, one of the front pages says, "In the year 112 AC, the story begins." And we kind of half worry that whoever wrote the book might have been citing the wiki, which was keeping track of this just in our wiki notes, and other people are keeping track of this, not just me, but I'm chipping in. Maybe they were reacting to us reacting to them, we don't know, but it lines up with why would you change Jaehaerys lived another 2 years? It doesn't affect anything. So all of that lining up, there's 20 years from the tournament to the death of Azaris, and that there's probably 2 years between the tournament and when Viserys started his 9-year reign. All of this lines up. Season 2 begins in the calendar year 132. Hooray, we can actually date events in, like, wiki pages. We can say the Battle of Rook's Rest was in the year 132 when we're having battle pages and stuff. I don't know how time is going to progress in the rest of the show, like I said, that given that they're not really that many small children characters, but I think Season 5 is going to be the Hour of the Wolf. So I think the war might last, well, 2, 3, yeah, like 4 years. Calendar years. Or they could say, who knows, maybe in Season 5 they could say it's been 2 years since the war began. Hard to say, but I'm banking on they're just going to say 1 season equals 1 year story. But this is pretty consistent. I mean, other than the, wait, when did Jaehaerys die? It's, we very clearly say in dialogue, 3-year time skip, 10-year time skip, 6-year time skip, plus the 1 year Rhaenyra was on her betrothal tour. And then in episode 8, Rhaenyra clearly says it's been about 20 years. So you can match up the dates like this. It's not really that convoluted. They kept good track of this, and there aren't going to be any more time skips, so we don't really need to worry about this anymore.